What up, dog?
I had to take a shit.
Dude, I took a monster shit before I hopped on. Dude, it was disgusting.
Is that before literally every podcast?
It seems like Cody does shit before every time we record.
Yeah, I shit a lot, man. I be shitting like 3 to 5 times a day.
That is a lot. That's a lot of shit.
I am a healthy boy.
Is that how many times you should shit if you're healthy? 3 to 5 times a day?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's 3 to 5 times.
What? There's no
I think
way.
3 times is average.
I would say on average, I shit 3 times a day. Definitely in the morning. Usually once in the afternoon after I eat lunch, so it pushes all the excess excrement out. And then usually before I go Betty bye, there's a dump waiting for me.
See, I don't usually shit at night. I shit 1 to 2 times in the morning. And then I shit again right around noon. And then my body has it like pre-programmed to shit. But when like right around the time we transition from lunch to dinner shifts at the restaurant. So that's my last shit of the day usually. Maybe around 6 at the latest.
Wow, you guys are making me feel unhealthy. I'm once a day. It's usually in the morning after a cup of coffee. I'm good to go.
Oh.
Wild.
That's crazy.
I feel like you guys are shaming me for the number of times I poop in a day.
We're shit shaming you.
Yeah. Pathetic.
Those are rookie numbers. You boost those up. Cody, it's the first time we're recording since you've been in LA.
Yeah, dude. It was a great time in LA. LA was honestly incredible. I needed it.
Dude, that was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, what did you guys do? Like, how was the trip?
What didn't we do?
Dude, we did a lot of dancing.
Ooh, okay.
That was a fun
We did
night.
some mushrooms.
Yeah.
We did a lot of beach time.
Yeah.
Went to 2 shows, one absolutely horrendous and one really dope. So there's a equilibrium in the world.
What kind of show? Comedy or music?
Comedy.
Cody did an open mic on the beach, and it was awful. Not because of him. It was just like the people there, the host,
the vibes.
It was just horrendous.
Yeah, it seems like an open mic on a beach is already like, it's just something about it. It just seems hard to
think
do.
like Cody, that second open mic we went to, if that was on the beach, that would have been totally cool.
Yeah.
But like the people who ran the first one just sucked.
Yeah. And it was just like, I don't know, really not funny, not a good time.
Dude, we went to we tripped shrooms and went dancing. We originally were supposed to go to like an what was it?
Indie dance party.
Indie dance party.
Called Dance Yourself Clean, which is like lyrics to an LCD Sound System song.
So we assumed it would be like that kind of music, and it was not at all.
Yeah, it was the worst time. And we were the only people who were surprised by this.
Yeah, everyone else
was
vibing
yacked out on Molly.
Molly or Cody. You can just tell. Dude,
yeah, they're just like sweating with eyes like. Ugh.
But like 20 minutes before we go to this show, I was like, "Yo, guys, let's do some shrooms." And everyone it was like Cody and his friend Connie, and we were just like, "All right, like we'll just do like a little bit, see how it is." We only ate like maybe 2-3 shrooms each, but I ate a big old fat boy, and dude, I tripped balls that night. I tripped so hard.
Yeah, we were all tripping pretty mild. Like Connie had like a good trip, but it was short lived. Mine was the same, but it just didn't. The timing. I don't know if it was my digestive tract just not doing its diligence.
It's all that shitting you do.
But yeah, mine kicked in way like after everybody else was like starting to mellow out and stuff.
I didn't really mellow out until we like left the Monty. The
Monty was incredible.
Yeah, the Monty was fun as fuck.
We left the first bar and we were like, this sucks. But we saw these people that were like dressed in nearly BDSM garb.
Yeah.
Go into this bar. We're like, we'll go where they're going.
Yeah.
And we went in there and it was like
it was crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. It's apparently a famous queer club in LA. It felt like walking onto the set of Rocky Horror Picture Show. There was like the dude DJing was like this tiny ancient wizard. And he was like doing like climbing the walls and all over the place, and was like they were like mixing like classic rock and punk and rockabilly and stuff like that. It was wild.
It was cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
So how many Joe Pesci's would you give this trip to LA?
Honestly, I give it, well, it started off really intense because I started tripping before they did. And I started tripping like I peaked hard as fuck.
Yeah, dude, he was freaking out.
I wasn't freaking out.
No, he was in his mind. He was.
Well, no, it was just too much. It was too much stimuli. Like I was start tripping. There was too much music. Like so many people, and I could see like in their eyes, they're all yacked out on Molly or Coke. And then, dude, I was like, we were standing on the side while this DJ is doing whatever, and I start coughing. And this girl out of nowhere comes up to me and she just goes, COVID. And I was like, oh. And I'm like tripping hard, and it like really fucked with me.
Yeah, you could tell, like, I wasn't tripping at that point, and I could tell she was just being hilarious. You know what I mean? She was just being funny. But Jake, in his tripping mind, he looked over at me and was like, dude, what the fuck?
That's hilarious.
Man. Yeah. It was a good trip. I danced like an animal.
That night?
Yeah.
Dude, I danced harder the night before at the whatever bar it was we went the first night.
I danced so hard at the Monte. I couldn't help it. Like literally I had no control over my body.
Yeah, there was one point in time. I think I didn't dance as hard because the trip kicked in when we were really hard for me when we were at the Monte. So like how you were like overwhelmed at the first spot, I kept like there would be times where I'd be like, this is overwhelming.
Yeah.
But it was way better than the first spot regardless.
Yeah.
Like the first spot just felt like a forced shitty time.
Yeah.
I don't want to hang out with a bunch of fucking yacked out 24-year-olds.
Yeah.
Like honestly, everyone in there was like super gorgeous, but they were all just like, they seemed like rich kids.
And we hate rich kids here.
Yeah, dude.
Because we're not them.
I am not rich.
That's the funny thing about being rich is you hate them when you're not it, but then when you become it, you're like, oh, this is cool.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, when you become it.
No, I mean, like if you become rich people, it's the one thing that people hate when they're not it, but it's the one thing that like most people want to be.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Definitely.
You know what I mean? We're like rich people, but then it's also like, oh, please let me hit the lotto, and like,
yeah.
Everyone
or it's like if I was rich, I wouldn't be an asshole.
Yeah.
But you've never been rich.
Yeah, exactly.
But you've always been an asshole, Anthony. So.
Yeah, exactly. Damn it, why can't I be both?
Yeah.
Nice.
Jake, for some reason I keep looking at your shirt and I'm thinking Beetlejuice.
Nice. Somebody said it looks like a referee shirt.
Nice. I like Beetlejuice more.
Yeah, Beetlejuice is cooler than a ref.
I just watched Beetlejuice like 3 days ago. It holds up.
Dude, it's such a holds up.
Still holds
such
up.
A good movie.
Such a good movie.
Yeah, I like that movie a lot. Liked it as a kid.
Yeah.
It honestly scared me as a kid.
There were parts that weirded me out when I was like really young. Because I saw it when I was like 5 or 6. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, same. And it scared the shit out of me. Like the scene when after the dancing scene, when they're dancing around the table, when
the shrimp hands always fucked with me.
Yeah, and just like all the little thing, there was like a lot of like that old school Tim Burton special effects shit that just was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like when they're like, they changed their faces.
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
Yeah.
Also, when I rewatched it the other day, there's a lot of like suicide jokes in that movie.
Nice.
Like a shit. There's like an absurd amount, and I was like, I wonder if this came out now, all these organizations would be like, oh, you're making light of suicide, whatever, mental health.
Yeah, well. You're probably right. Just because people want to be upset about things.
They do.
You know who doesn't want to be upset? I don't know. That was dumb. Dude, I'm honestly running on fumes today. I'm not doing well.
Why?
I slept on my brother's farm and just didn't get a good night's sleep.
Does he not?
And then drove
Does he
back.
have a bed or what?
No, I slept on his couch.
Oh, nice.
For some reason, I pictured Cody sleeping on like a haystack.
Yeah, like near chickens and shit.
Dude, he does have so many. He has like 23. No, he has 12 chickens, but he also has like another I don't know, 12 or 13 turkeys.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, dude. There's a big one named Beef Tank. There's these 2 white ones that he named Christmas and Thanksgiving because that's when he's going to eat them.
Good tie into the Sweet Tooth episode. But you know what else has a farm? The world of Black Hammer.
Dun, dun,
Dude,
dun.
what a book.
It was a good book. I just read volume 2 actually the other day.
Well, you better not do it and talk about it any, bro.
All I'm gonna do is talk about it.
I'm only on volume 1.
Well, that's what we're talking about today. Volume 1 of Black Hammer by Jeff Lemire.
Published by Dark Horse Comics.
Dark Horse.
Yeah.
No, it's great and it's cool. Yeah. Well, yeah.
And that's it. It's great and cool.
And
how many Joe Pesci?
No.
You know what? Before we go any further, though, let's smoke. You guys have something to smoke?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I need a smoke.
It's also
I've got a strain today called Coma. Just called Coma.
Nice.
That's sick. God, honestly.
Where'd you get it from?
The guy.
Oh, because you're an indica guy.
Oh yeah, I forgot. You guys still have dealers, like savages out there.
It's kind of like a sativa that ends up as an indica. Like it's like at first I kind of have energy, but then I'm kind of like couch locked because it lives up to the name.
So like at the beginning, you're like, wow, this is great. And by the end of the episode, you're going to be asleep.
Nah, honestly, I'm not that kind of stoner. It's not going to do that to me. Even if I wanted to, it's going to be hard for me to smoke and be like, peace, you know?
Yeah.
Dude,
I'll just get the munchies. That's
not me. I can fall asleep anywhere.
That's true. Cody falls asleep incredibly easily after having him here for a week. Stupid easily.
Yes. Yeah, dude, it's quick.
It is. It's quick.
I wish I was able to sleep that way. I would trade that in an instant for the way I sleep. Like it takes me so long to fall asleep.
Really?
Dude, I never have issues sleeping. Jake doesn't either, though. Don't let him play the victim in this situation.
The victim.
You know who else was a victim? Everyone in Black Hammer.
Well, we don't know. We don't know what's really going on.
Oh, I know what's really going on. I read. I'm all caught up. Like with the most recent thing I know.
Oh,
Cody
really?
doesn't know, and we won't. I don't want to spoil anything either. So, yeah, in the first volume, we have no fucking idea what's going on, but not in like a super confusing way.
Yeah,
like they paint a pretty clear picture of what's happening. You just don't know how, why. You don't know the like extreme details of what's going on.
Yeah, it's honestly like one of those things where the whole entire first volume feels like set up, but in like a very interesting and detailed and fun way.
Right, because like each issue in the first 6 issues is almost like dedicated to a character.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you get enough of a character's backstory and enough of the character's like interactions in the world they're living in to really get a feel for how they are. So, Jake, I feel like you're always great at this. Do you want to give like the little synopsis of Black Hammer?
Yes.
Well, first off, do we want to ring in the episode?
Yeah, let's ring it in like the new year.
Oh yeah, we didn't even do an intro.
Exactly.
It's that coma. It made me,
that coma. Well, ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between, welcome to Comics and Chronic. As always, I'm Jake F.H. I'm here with Cody, Walaka Cannon, and Anthony Iannaccio. And we are talking about Black Hammer. Black Hammer is an independent comic, as we said, written by Jeff Lemire, published by Dark Horse Comics. And it pretty much is a universe where like DC adjacent heroes, you know, they're all clearly, what's the word?
Analogs.
Yeah, there you go. Are analogs for the heroes you know in both universes, Marvel and DC. And through some weird event, they are now trapped on what seems like a small town on a farm. But as you read, you find out there may be more to the mystery. And they've been trapped for like 10 years, I think.
Yeah, they've been trapped a while.
Yeah, a while.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them seem content with it, and some of them want to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the...
So what really like drew me into this comic right away is that the characters are analogs of characters we know.
Yeah.
which I like. Like with Invincible, we talked about that too.
Yeah.
Like when it's done right, it could be done really well. Like Watchmen is definitely one of the first comics to do that, where the characters are analogs of characters we know.
Facts.
But with Black Hammer, like the way Black Hammer is set up, it's like they are from a golden age of superheroes.
Yeah. It's insane. It's yeah. Continue, Anthony. I'm sorry.
No, so I was just going to say, so they're they're golden age superheroes, but they're in our world, but it's not necessarily gritty. It's just they don't fit in.
Well, they're from like a city called Spiral City, which is clearly a Gotham or / Metropolis analog.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for sure. They fought the anti-god.
Who was like clearly Darkseid, even looked
Darkseid.
Oh,
Yeah.
So,
and an interesting thing is the art, especially. So we forgot to mention the artist, which is Dean Ormston.
Nice.
That's his name. Dean Ormston. And he actually draws very similar to like how Jeff Lemire would draw if Jeff Lemire was drawing the comic himself.
That's what I thought too,
Right?
honestly. I thought the art was very... I felt like Jeff was basically just like, you know what? I don't want to do the art, but I still want my vision. I just found somebody who was like, I draw just like Jeff Lemire.
Yeah, well, they worked together on a comic, which I highly recommend. It's how I like found out about Jeff Lemire's stuff, like his early stuff. It's called The Underwater Welder.
Yeah,
Whoa.
I know about that.
It's a real. I think we should do an episode on that one day. Like, it's kind of a horror story, but you know, the art is. It's written and drawn by Jeff Lemire, but the art No, I'm sorry. It's written by Jeff Lemire. It's drawn by the guy we're talking about, Dean Ormston. And it just is like very realistic. But when they go back in time to show you what's going on in Spiral City, the art is very golden age, bright. The colors are bright, whereas usually it's dull, it's dark, purposely. It fits the theme.
Yeah, I agree. And I feel like it's almost like not psychedelic in the sense that like it's all crazy, because it does have that kind of like stiff Jeff Lemire-esque, like, and I'm not saying stiff as an insult, but like, you know, it's not like the people are always like kind of his people, like art is kind of like stiff in a sense.
Yeah, I get exactly what you mean.
But it's just like, it's like they did like a trippy take on Golden Age style art, you know?
Yeah, the way he draws faces, his like use of lines, they're not like, no one in his comics are good looking people, you know? They're all kind of ugly, especially, dude, like I even like, I can't stand it. What's it? The Barbalian? Yeah, dude, his human form is like the ugliest human being like ever.
Mark Marks.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's basically just like a really tall, slender, bald dude, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like if you like look at any of their faces, none of them are like good looking people. Even Gail, who's a child or an adult trapped in a child body, like she's kind of an ugly little girl.
Yeah, it's definitely the very distinct art style that makes it that way. But also, you know, the story's dark, and a lot of Jeff Lemire stories, like Sweet Tooth, have dark aspects to him. And the way those characters express themselves is like you're saying, the stiffness, but also like it's almost like every reaction is like horror and dread and like, oh shit, why is life so shitty and why is this happening to me at every moment? Like that, it captures that perfectly all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Agreed.
I really liked Barbalian, and I liked the like friendship / like crush that what's the girl, Gail?
Yeah, Golden Gail.
Golden Gail has on Barbalian.
Yeah.
You know,
so Barbalian's the Martian Manhunter analog of the group.
John's pretty much Mark Marks.
Exactly. Mark Marks. Golden Gail is the Shazam analog.
Yeah.
But so her thing is that when she was a kid, she was like an orphan, like Shazam, and she got the Shazam powers, but it's Zafram. That's what her Zafram. And she could become a kid when she says Zafram. So as she gets older, she says, you know, at first I didn't really want to keep turning back into a kid, but when I got really old, I was like, yeah, now, you know, I like being Golden Gail. But now she's stuck. She's basically like a 70-year-old woman or 60-year-old woman
in a child's
little kid's body.
Yeah. And she can't change back.
Right. And she's stuck living as the life of a little kid. Like she has to go to school and like she gets drunk in the morning before she gets on the school bus, you know? She smokes cigarettes. She curses all the time.
Yeah.
She does not give a shit. She's like, I'm done putting up with this role. It's terrible. Like, it's kind of funny, but it's terrible.
Yeah. So the reason that she has to do this is because when they were fighting the anti-god in the Golden Age, that like their past is from, the comic starts out and they're on this farm and they're just trying to pretend to be normal people. They're not being superheroes.
Right.
And you find out it's because when they fought the anti-god back when they were all superheroes, when there was like a big flash, and when they came to, they were on the farm.
Yep.
And they cannot leave.
Yeah.
And where we're going with this episode, it doesn't explain why they cannot leave. They're in either like a pocket dimension or maybe another, like you just don't know. It's kind of like there's been lots of possibilities, but nobody has any answers.
And there's also, wherever they are, there's a barrier that they cannot cross because Talkie-Walkie?
Talkie-Walkie.
The robot, he's cool. And he like keeps building probes.
It's a she.
It's a she, yeah.
Yeah, we find that later on. They don't say it right away, but it's like the other character, Colonel Weird.
Colonel Weird.
Yeah. Colonel Weird's crazy. No, he's, if anything, I'd say maybe like Dr. Adam not Dr. Adam.
Adam Strange. Strike it and reverse it. But yeah, no, he's literally an Adam Strange analog, but with Doctor Strange kind of like that weird, like the Parazone, it's called.
The Parazone.
Yeah.
That's trippy as hell, the Parazone.
Yeah, the Parazone's nuts. And just the whole Colonel Weird one, you don't, in volume 1, he's the character you probably learn the least about.
Yeah. True. Because I just read volume 2 and you actually learn a lot about it.
The thing about Black Hammer is like, there's volume 2, which continues the main Black Hammer story, but then they start to do offshoots of like certain characters. Like there's a Dr. Frankenstein series. There's Sherlock Frankenstein. That's what it's called. It's like you get a quick glimpse of him in one of the flashbacks. Yeah. He's like a villain for Abraham Slam.
Abraham Slam.
Who is Abraham Slam?
He's
Is
clearly
he just like a strong guy?
Yeah, he's basically Cap without the super soldier serum.
Yeah, exactly. He's just a boxer, and
because
of his boxing background, it's almost a little bit Daredevilish.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
That's what I got. Yeah, I would say like he's a Daredevil Cap analog.
Yeah, I love how the guy that trained him's name was Punch Sockingham.
The names are pretty funny in this comic, actually.
Yeah,
I like it a lot.
Dude, I do love that this comic, it has humor like all throughout, and just in that kind of aspect, it's like a superhero story, but it's not at all a superhero story.
Right.
Like it feels more of like a sci-fi horror than a superhero.
In a weird way, almost like a murder mystery.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it definitely has like mystery aspects and noir, just like
Yes. And then especially when you throw in Madame Dragonfly.
Yeah, what's her deal?
She's definitely, there's a character in DC, Madame Xanadu.
Xanadu.
Yeah, and she's very similar, but she's not as evil, I guess. But something about Madame Dragonfly, you're like, ooh, she's
like,
up to no good.
I don't fully trust this chick.
Yeah, and in the very last issue, they kind of hint, the very last issue of this volume, they hint that it may be her fault that this happened. This may be her doing, that they're trapped on this farm.
Well.
Yes. Yeah, that's crazy because I didn't even realize that when I read it. I just finished it a couple days ago, and for some reason, like, just kind of overlooked that. I have no idea why.
It's very quick. It's like almost like one word where she's just like forget. Like she's trying to hide something. Because she has like magic powers. Like her backstory is actually pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
I liked her backstory actually.
Yeah.
Should we tell it?
That's what I was waiting on.
Anthony, you want to tell it?
Okay.
I can tell it.
Cody, you tell it.
Cody, tell it. Yeah, Cody.
Yeah, basically, it's like a Rumpelstiltskin-esque story where this chick's like, I need to save my baby. And she goes to a witch, and the witch is like,
this is like hundreds of years ago too, though. It doesn't take place like present time.
No, this is old timey settler-esque.
Yeah, like colonial shit.
colonial America. Yeah, she goes to this witch and says, lets her know, like basically asks for her to save a baby. And the witch is like, I'm tired. I need you. Pulls a Kang the Conqueror from Loki and is like, I'll save your baby if you take over my job of watching the cabin. And the chick is obviously like, yeah, of course. And then she becomes a witch.
Yeah,
she grows dragonfly wings.
Yeah,
And
she turns green.
Becomes tethered
to the
cabin.
Yep. And then accidentally basically creates a swamp thing.
Yeah.
Like literally.
Yeah.
That she falls in love with.
Instantly.
And we get like a page where she's like, some things are too tragic to talk about. It's implied that like she had a child. She was going to have a child with him. And again, she loses it. She like anytime she tries to have a kid, it just doesn't happen. And like she's just she's a great character because like I've read past the first volume, it gets crazier. So I guess I can't say anything more about Madame Dragonfly now, but really like that character. There's also Black Hammer, who you don't really know anything about. Black Hammer. Black Hammer's the main hero of the entire thing.
But you learn about him in the second volume.
Yeah. Right now, all we know about him is that he was like the superhero. He had like a giant ass hammer. He wasn't Thor, but it kind of is like Thor-esque.
He was closer to Thor than he was to
Superman.
like anyone else.
Hybrid.
Ooh, yeah.
Because
I thought it was a Thor Superman hybrid.
Yeah, he definitely is the Superman of this universe.
Yeah.
But in the event where they fight the anti-god, we don't know. He's presumed dead. All that's left is his hammer.
Yeah.
And his daughter.
Yeah.
That's like the other part of the story. She's trying to find a way to find out what happened to these heroes, where they went, and try to get to them.
She's a journalist.
Yes, her name is Lucy Weber.
Little Webby.
Little Webby.
Oh.
But again, in the first volume, we don't really learn too much about Little Webby. So.
No. Dude, Little Webby. Dude, yeah, you don't know a lot about her. You get to, it's just, I mean, Jake, you go.
Well, I was going to say, I was watching these two ducks while Cody was here, and I took Cody to I took Cody to feed them and whatnot, and he named one of them Little Webby.
That's a great name for a duck.
Well, yeah.
I thought so.
They were hilarious. Just a little.
She also wears yellow, so it kind of makes sense too.
Dude, yeah, but she, because she gets her memory wiped by Madame Dragonfly.
Right.
Yeah.
She says, I know what you did. And she's like, no, you don't. Forget it. Like, you don't know it anymore.
Yeah.
Which is what makes the next volume cool. Like, she came to save them, but she totally forgot why. She totally forgot what's going on. So they're trapped even more.
Yeah.
It's cool. I really like where the series goes. The offshoots are good too, because what's really cool about Black Hammer is that they expand the world in a way you don't expect in certain ways. And like, you get some more Golden Age stuff. You get more of like a backstory of these characters.
How long until we think Black Hammer gets made into a live action TV
they're working
show?
on it.
Really?
I think it's going to be a Netflix series.
Really?
Yeah.
That makes sense. I could see it on Netflix.
Yeah.
And because Sweet Tooth is on Netflix, he obviously already has a relationship with them. So
exactly.
Oh, that's cool. I'll say, who are you going to cast? Who would you guys cast as live action Black Hammer?
We got how many characters? We got Abraham Slam, Golden Gale, Barbalian, Talkie Walkie. We need a voice. Colonel Weird, Madame Dragonfly, Black Hammer, Joe Weber. So
we don't know what Black Hammer. Do we know what Black Hammer looks like in this version yet?
I'm not sure. I don't think you might get a glimpse. I don't think you might get a silhouette.
You get a silhouette, but you don't ever see him. So let's not.
All right. So Lucy Weber.
Yeah. So Lucy Weber. Let's also let's also do the sheriff and his ex-wife at the diner.
Yeah, those were a big
because they're big. Yeah, they're still in it. Like I just finished volume 2. They're still in it. So
Colonel Weird right away. I'm gonna say Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, no, Colonel Weird's old, man. He's an old fuck.
Yeah, but I could see him in like, old, because you need a young version of him too.
I'll up you and say Willem Dafoe.
Ooh, I like that a lot, actually.
Willem Dafoe.
That would be fucking perfect.
Okay, yeah, Willem Dafoe's super old now too, okay.
Yeah, because he's just floating around and he's all crazy saying weird shit.
Yeah, you basically just clip out Willem Dafoe's monologue from the Descent into Madness from the Lighthouse and just paste it into like a psychedelic background, and it would literally be Colonel Weird.
Cody Feige over here.
Yeah,
once again. Master storyteller. Oh yeah, I like Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, that's way better than what I said.
What about Abraham Slam? Once again, he's an older man, so
Yeah.
I would go with an
But you
older.
need a big older man.
True. And honestly,
You need a.
if he was still in his prime, actually no, he might work now. God, am I going to get his name right? Is it Tom Selleck?
Tom Selleck.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
That
That's
would
good.
honestly be a good call if we could resurrect him from the dead. What's
He's
his
not
name
dead.
that played?
No,
No, I'm
he's-
talking about
Yeah.
what's his
Dude,
name that played?
Google him right now and-
Smokey and the Bandit.
Oh, Burt
Burt
Reynolds. I agree with that.
Yeah.
See, that's what I was thinking. I was like, dude, Google him now. The first picture is him with a giant mustache. He's a tall motherfucker.
Yeah.
I would go.
I would also pick Josh Brolin
See, once again,
for Abraham
Ooh.
Slam.
that's good, but I'm thinking
Josh
older. I'm
Brolin.
just thinking older.
He's pretty old,
He's getting there.
Well,
but he could be like he could still be
he could
jacked
be young.
and look old.
He could be
you know?
young of them. Young Abraham.
Yeah, I feel like you
Ooh,
have
Josh
to be
Brolin
able.
would be a good young
Yeah.
Abraham Slam, like Golden Age.
Golden Age Abraham.
Yeah. Golden Gale's a tough one.
Golden Gale is a tough one.
I'm going to
'cause you
say
need
this:
a young girl.
you need a young girl, but you also need an older woman.
Right.
Wait, did they show her in older woman form in this comic?
Yeah,
Okay.
you see
Yeah.
her.
Well, okay.
Like you see her in flashbacks.
This is who I
growing
have
up,
for
you know?
older woman Gale. Frances McNormand.
Interesting.
Oh, okay, I can see that. Yeah.
Interesting.
Definitely. Imagine you can make her look like a little kid. That would be perfect.
That'd be cool.
With some weird
Interesting.
Is it
technology.
McNormand or just Frances Norman? Either way.
Francis
Oh
McDormand.
yeah, there we go.
But also, if it's going to be on Netflix, I doubt we're going to get such a star-studded cast.
Well, that's why I'm thinking like,
Oh.
dude, Tom Selleck over like Josh Brolin, fucking Matthew McConaughey over Willem Dafoe. I don't know. I mean, Willem Dafoe's a big name, but still, he did Aquaman, so you can get him to do this.
Yeah, Willem Dafoe
True.
has a price.
And yeah, exactly. All these actors have a quote. You could pay them to do anything.
Yeah.
Oh, Jeff Lemire wants Ron Perlman to be Abraham
I like
Slam.
that. That's cool.
That's honestly perfect.
Yeah.
Dude, I love Ron
Ooh,
Perlman.
okay. You know
Yeah.
who I would offer up as another alternative for Colonel Weird is
Who?
the old guy. It's in that like new horror movie where he's a blind man and he kills the kids who enter his house.
Stephen
Lang. There we go.
Dude from Avatar.
From Avatar, yeah.
Mm.
I would do him.
Oh, yeah, I could see that. I would have him as the sheriff even, but he's too like
no, the
not-
sheriff's fat.
Yeah. I was just gonna say.
I know who I would do the sheriff. I don't know his name, but he's in a lot of movies. But if you guys watch True Detective season 1, he's the big guy, the big bad actor. He's in everything. He's in
Nice.
Joker.
I
He's
like
the one
that.
who Joker stabs in the eye when he gives.
Oh, okay, I know exactly.
I would
who you're
get that
talking about.
actor
Yeah,
to
that
play
would
the
be
sheriff.
perfect. Yeah.
Dude, okay.
That would work.
For the human form of Barbalian,
Uh huh.
Johnny Sins.
I mean, you're right. He looks exactly like Johnny Sins, who, by the way, is a famed American porn actor. I mean, like, he literally is the Daniel Day-Lewis of pornography.
I knew you would like that one too.
And I knew
I was gonna
Anthony
say
wasn't going to
you-
know who it was.
Hey, I'm sorry. You guys watched Barry?
Yeah,
Did you guys ever
I
watch
watched
Barry?
Barry.
So, NoHo Hank, Anthony Carrigan's the actor.
Oh,
I think he would
okay.
be perfect Barbalian.
That'd be funny. He's short, though. Barbalian's pretty tall.
I don't care. Height doesn't matter to me
I don't know.
as a character. Like
As a
wh-
character,
like, why is
no.
it,
Certain
like,
characters, you don't want like a short Batman or a short Superman. Like no one's gonna fuck with.
Yeah,
no
I
one's
guess
gonna be
not.
down with like a 5'7" Superman. You know what I mean?
I guess, but like if Tom Cruise plays somebody, you're never really sure how tall
Star
he is.
power,
You know what
bro.
I mean?
Star power makes him taller.
And also, what's his name? Robert Downey Jr. is super short.
Okay, what about
Yeah.
the dude that's like I can't remember his name, but he's in Modern Family.
Oh, you're talking. I know what you're talking about. As who?
Yeah.
Ed
As
O'Neill.
Barbalian.
Oh, that.
Not Ed O'Neill.
Are you talking about
Real-
the husband?
the dark hair?
Yeah, dark hair. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I just don't like that guy.
Oh. Okay, so
I don't even know why I don't like him.
Jason Statham.
Ooh, dude, that'd be sick.
He'd work, but he's also he's probably shorter.
They say they're probably is short.
Probably.
Okay, so
Oh, we also need Madame Dragonfly.
Madam
Dragonfly, you
Dragonfly
can get
would be,
anyone to play.
yeah. Madam Dragonfly's Anya Taylor-Joy.
Ooh, that would be good.
Really good. We have so far. We don't have any actors of color, though. I feel racist. I feel like Hollywood. You
There's
guys
not many characters.
think
of
outside
color
the
in
box. Like,
show.
for
Well,
instance,
Lucy Weber.
For instance, what's
Lucy
her name?
Weber.
Yeah, that's one person. But like, for instance, what's her name? Madame Dragonfly. I don't think she necessarily has to be. Well, oh yeah, they show her in it, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it doesn't
she's a
matter.
white-
Subvert the trope, you guys. You fucking Hollywood shills. Jesus.
It doesn't need to be everyone just because all the characters are white, basically, except for Black Hammer. That it doesn't. You know, we're just picking actors based on the
Based on the comics, yeah.
what we're seeing in the comic.
You
but,
guys
you know,
forgive Cody's and Anthony's racism, okay?
they
We all have flaws.
That's not what it is at all.
It's okay. My fellow commies, do not worry. They're on the path.
So, who is going to be Abraham Slam's lady?
Oh, yeah.
I have no idea. Tammy? No idea. I'm trying to think of Lucy Weber.
Ooh, what's her name? God damn it. Washington. You know.
Kerry Washington.
There we go. Kerry Washington.
I could see that, but I feel like maybe that she's too old. She's not like she's like definitely.
She's like what, in her 20s or 30s?
Yeah,
Probably
I'd say
30s, 20s or 30s.
Okay. Only, well, for a few reasons, especially because of the last panel in the second volume. Well, Issa Rae.
I was actually thinking Issa Rae too, believe it or
Dude,
not.
Issa Rae would be sick. I'd like to see Issa Rae in a non-comedy.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
Because
exactly.
she does so
I think
well
there is
in
like an example, or it's not like a full-on comedy at least, but I think there's something. I don't know. She did a movie during the pandemic.
Yeah.
But I didn't
She would
see it.
definitely add comedy to it, but the character doesn't need to be. But even in what's fucking
Insecure,
in her show,
there's
her
plenty of
HBO show,
drama.
yeah, she's exactly.
Yeah.
it's a drama.
I'm going to go with Issa
Yeah.
Rae.
Yeah, Issa Rae as Lucy Weber.
Yeah.
That would be cool if she gets to be
That would be sweet.
Black Hammer. That would be sick.
Dude, Issa Rae is doing her own shit. She has like a really like thriving production company.
Yeah, she produces a bunch of
Her
shows.
and
right?
so I used to do this laundry job, like deliver laundry, remember? And so one of the writers for this show is this woman. I guess I won't put her name on blast, but her name is in the credits. And so, anyways, when I was delivering her laundry to her, I saw the name on the name tag of the bag, and I was like, she answered the door, and I was like, "Hey, do you write for Insecure?" And she was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh wow!" I was like, "That's awesome. That's a really cool show." I was like, "Keep it up." She was like, "Thank you." So, anyways, they're starting a new show on HBO. I think it's just called Rappers or something Rappers. But yeah,
Nice.
so Issa Rae's popping.
I just watched on HBO Max this Woodstock '99 documentary.
Oh, was that the one with DMX?
Woodstock '99 was fucked up. Yeah.
Why
yeah.
did people get
DMX,
did people get
Limp Bizkit.
raped?
Yeah. Oh man, terrible stuff.
Isn't that
people
fun?
died?
Okay, I know what you're talking about as far as the documentary, but wait, whoa! I like that the first question I asked, you were like, "Yeah, a lot."
Yeah, no, seriously.
Really?
Like that's a big point in the documentary that there's a lot of just terrible things going on in that
Whoa, like
whole
like
concert,
what?
everything surrounding it. Like people got raped, attacked, sexually assaulted in the middle of a crowd of people. No one did anything. Beyond that, there were people that just died from like heat stroke. It was incredibly hot. They were charging $4 for a bottle of water, and so like people were just getting pissed. And it was also a bunch of like angry white boys, and so they were making things way worse. And like that whole atmosphere,
Oh,
like
shit.
when Limp Bizkit, so they tried to blame everything that happened on Limp Bizkit because he played the song. He played the song "Break Stuff," and they started breaking stuff. And they're like, "See what he did?" And they're like, "That's not why this is happening. Like this is like a very specific crowd of like angry white boys that are just think they could do whatever they want." And they were like, it was anarchy and no one was stopping them and no one was really running the concert. It's so fucked up. It's just everything about it's terrible.
Damn.
I remember seeing conversations about it, I think on like VH1 and MTV back in the day. And
Yeah.
it sounded like a nightmare.
Yeah. And in fact,
Really?
like because of like how bad it was the same year they did, I don't know because of, but this Coachella, the very first Coachella started the same year, almost like in response to that. And it was like, you know, way more welcoming and like way chiller and just, you know, like it kind of evolved out of like some really shitty, like apparently Woodstock '94 was not the same. Like it was like actually a good time. But even the original Woodstock was a shit show. Maybe not that bad, but it was still a shit show.
Oh, for sure, a shit show.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Probably more consensual sex. Also, I feel like just because it's the summer of love, the first Woodstock.
Yeah, but again, they always want you to look at it, look at it through like rose-colored glasses, like the summer of love. Like who knows what the fuck was going on there? You know what I mean?
They did have hippie like sex cults, Charles Manson. There's a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, exactly, Charles Manson.
So never mind. I retract my statement.
That's just like boomer lore.
Oh yeah, look,
they want you
it's
to
all
think.
we got taught in school, and I clearly bought it. And I was like, yeah, the summer of love, nothing bad happened, even though you have all the serial killers in the 70s.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, right.
Dude, yeah. I wonder, yeah, I don't know. I've been to a bunch of music festivals, and I've never experienced anything like that.
Yeah, I've never seen people get full on. I wouldn't. If I was in a crowd, I would not be cool with that. But then, dude, like,
and I've been to like
absolutely not.
When you see that video of DMX and you see that wave of 80,000 people, it's like to think that like somewhere in there like fucked up shit. You know what I mean? And people are standing around either watching it or ignoring it. You know what it is? It's just like, dude, it's pure like adrenaline with mob mentality. I mean, it's a herd thing. It's like a herd mentality thing. It's just like you have all these fucking people. They're all drugged up and fucked up and amped up.
Yeah, exactly. The way the documentary presents it is kind of like, you know how like Fyre Fest was just like really fucked up?
Well, that's because, that's for a different reason.
Like poorly planned and just bad. That was a big part of why this was also bad. Like there wasn't enough.
We need order,
water.
You guys. It sounds like what you're telling
People
me.
couldn't shower. People couldn't. The bathrooms were overflowing, like the porta potties. Like people thought they were like rolling around in mud, but it was shit. They were flinging it at each other, rubbing it on like their faces.
What? I would never do that.
It was pure chaos and anarchy. This is what I'm saying. They're breaking shit down. By the end of it, there's like Red Hot Chili Peppers are playing, and there's like fires, just raging fires throughout the like giant ass.
Now I want to watch this
they're
documentary.
on like an Air Force field, dude. It's so good. It's so good. It's so dark, but it's compelling.
You know what else is dark but compelling?
Tell him, Cody.
The Black Hammer book, Volume 1.
Nicely done.
I had to redeem myself after the beginning of the episode.
We got stuck in the parazone.
Dude, that was a cool thing. So what do you guys? Okay, well, you guys, I can't ask what
I
you guys
know
think,
because Anthony just ruined it for everyone. Anthony knows more than me. I only know what's up to the second volume.
Okay, well, what do you give? How many?
Oh yeah, how many Pesci's we giving this bad boy? Joe Pesci's ratings. Look, Joe Pesci does his own fucking thing. You tell him to get there at 3:00. He comes whenever the fuck he wants.
Yeah. Okay, so Joe Pesci, I'd give it. Honestly, 6.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it 6. I'm gonna give it 6.
Yep, 6 from me as well. Unanimous.
Mark the number of the beast, dude.
The year is 1.
Yeah.
That was so random. We just all 666. Yeah, 666s. That's how we do.
Dude, it's an incredible comic. And the art is like one of my favorite things about it. It's like one of those things. And it's also like a dense comic.
It's And I very much enjoy it.
What do you mean by dense?
Like there's a lot of panels
it.
and it's like very detailed and there's just like many moving parts and like it's like it's still Jeff Lemire is le creme de la creme in comic book storytelling right now.
True.
I feel like.
Yeah, no, he's one of my favorite comic book creators of all time. Anything he puts out, I immediately want to check out. Like it's always honestly, look, no one's perfect, but he's got a great track record of comic books.
Yeah, I would say more hits than misses.
100%. And also he has a very distinct style and flavor of comics where he makes it seem so real, even if it's just a superhero comic. But he really doesn't do a lot of superhero comics. He usually does his own indie stuff, which is why I really like him.
Facts, dog.
Jeff Lemire.
Jeff Lemire. 666.
You got to read his comic, Sentient, that I just read by TKO Publications.
Ooh, nice. What's that
You
one
just
about?
got it, didn't you?
Yeah, I just finished
Well,
it.
I was with you.
Yeah, I was reading it when you were with me, but I finished it like a few days ago. It was awesome. It was about basically like we're already in the process of colonizing like Mars and shit. Like there's colonies spread throughout the galaxy. Earth is like kind of on its last legs, just like, you know, it's a dying planet. So there's a ship a spaceship going from Earth to a colony, but it's going to take like a year or two to get there. So everyone's going to kind of like shut down and go into cryo sleep, whatever. But what's happening is there's separatists, like people on Earth, who are like fuck this, like we can't have the same people who ran this planet into the ground be in charge of colonizing the galaxy. And they're like blowing up spaceships before they can even leave Earth. They're secretly going to colonies and starting shit there, like killing, higher ups, whatever. So on this spaceship, it's, everyone that runs it and their kids. And the children are watched by like a nanny woman as well as like the AI for the ship, which is named what was the name? Valerie. Yeah, so she's like Val. And so one of the space people is a separatist, ends up killing the entire adult crew, and she ends up getting killed by the AI. And then the kids are on their own with the AI that runs the ship to try and get to the colony. It's called Sentient because they need to help the AI kind of become an adult. But the kids also they grow up fast. It's sweet. It was a dope. I liked it a lot.
Nice. I want to check that out. And it's from TKO, you said?
Yeah, TKO. They've been putting out some dank shit.
Yeah.
Who are they?
They're that independent one I was telling you about. They're like they've been around for maybe like 2 or 3 years. They're like a new.
Sarah, you were talking about?
Yeah, Sarah's really, I would say Sarah was my favorite so far. Then this homeless one. They just tell like weird stories. It's cool. Like, yeah.
I wonder why there are so many cool comic book indie labels coming out all of a sudden, because there's this one, there's Vault,
Vault
that we were talking about with Tim Seeley.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a good time to be an indie comic.
There's Omnipress. There's like a bunch of there's a lot of independent publishing companies now.
Maybe I'm wrong, and I don't know if this is like out of line to think, but when we were talking to Tim Seeley, he was talking about how like they just make good comic books. Like people, I think it was implied. I don't want to put words in anyone's mouth, but like there's a lot of newer creators that just kind of try to make stuff with the intent to make it into a movie or TV show, because that's where the real money is, right? Obviously, but a lot of comic creators don't appreciate that for a good reason. It's just like, oh, I'm going to do this to pivot to that. It's kind of disrespectful in a way.
Well, yeah, Tim Seeley was saying how like if they can't view it as something that could be made into a movie, they're not necessarily always interested.
Right. So the point I wanted to make from that is based on Cody's question. I think maybe a lot more comic publishers are popping up, maybe because they see the potential in that. I don't know. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of potential in selling comic books, unfortunately.
Oh no.
Even though we buy them,
but like it's a fledgling industry.
Yeah.
Like that's not where they make their money. You know what I mean?
And so many things are being quickly adapted. I'm so glad something like Black Hammer is going to be adapted, because I think these like Sweet Tooth was slept on. I hope this isn't slept on because it's quality.
That's why you listen to us, so we can give you pointers in the right direction of some quality ass comics and movies.
Exactly. Yeah, I was gonna say, do you guys think like this comic book, Black Hammer in particular? Do you think it's so valuable? I feel like as a society, we're starting to hit a point where superhero stuff, there's clearly an oversaturation. But not only upon that, but I feel like as a society, people are kind of like getting burnt out on liking superhero stuff. Like maybe I'm wrong, but like I feel like it's just like 10 years ago or whatever, like getting back into comic books was super cool.
Yeah.
And I feel like now it's kind of hitting that point where like comic book movies and things like that are like, while it's a huge industry, like everything comes and goes in waves. You know what I mean? Kind of like how like vampire movies will be really popular for a decade, and then zombie movies will be really popular for a decade.
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying. So you think it's on the end of the wave? It's not the wave anymore, Cody?
For superhero stuff. And I think that's why stuff like Black Hammer is so cool, because it's superhero, but like through a completely different lens and not even trying to tell like a superhero tale. You know what I mean?
I totally get what you're saying.
I don't know if they're on the end, but also because it's like, I think adults might be getting tired of it, but like half of Marvel's product is literally for like the upcoming, like my nephew who's 10 years old. So these kids are going to grow up with it. So like that's how Disney persists. It's because people keep having children. You know what I mean?
And something we always have to remember, we just don't read them. We're really not into it. But the highest selling comic books are not from really Marvel or DC. It's like from Scholastic. Like kids like comics, but not necessarily.
Fire, dude.
They do. Kids love that shit. There's a lot of great ones, and it's not. They love it for good reason. Like it's still quality stuff, but it's not superhero. It's not. It's just not what we would have grabbed as a kid, or even had as an offer as a kid.
Yeah.
But those kind of things are what's really, you know, kind of driving, like, and even manga, people love that. It's still comic books, but it's not. I think younger people like that a little bit more than our generation loved it, I think, but I feel like it's more ubiquitous.
Gen Z loves manga.
Yeah,
which is awesome. My son is, and all of his friends are super into, like, all they talk about is anime shows.
Nice.
And like, cool. I think anime's dope. I'm into it. I think we should cover a manga book at some point or another.
Yeah, multiple ones. There's so many good ones out there. Honestly,
I have a hard time reading mangas. In all honesty,
why is that?
Honestly, for some reason I'm just not really ever grabbed by
like the subject matter. You mean?
Maybe, but also just like the art. I don't know.
See, for me, it's less the art and more the reading the book in the wrong direction.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, you have to read them a specific way.
Off-putting.
You could pick it up, and it doesn't take too long. Honestly, I totally understand the reaction, but like it tells you in every book, like this is how you read it because it's in English, so they assume like an American's reading.
Yeah,
it, you know what I
here
mean?
in America, I don't need directions on how to read.
Well, apparently you do, or apparently Cody does for manga.
Dude, I need instructions on how to read anything.
Yeah.
If I'm putting together a shelf, I need an instruction book telling me how to read an instruction book.
When you're taught how to read Hebrew, you read Hebrew right to left. So.
Hebrew, the original manga.
The original manga. Dude, can you imagine someone making a manga of like Moses and shit? That'd be kind of sick.
That'd be sick.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I would watch an animated manga Moses movie.
Especially if they made it like kind of horrific.
Oh yeah, I want like blood
the plagues
and
being like terrifying.
The boils are like popping.
I do have like a friend of mine who later became a priest gave me the graphic novel version of the Book of Revelation.
Whoa, that might be cool.
Revelations?
I really wanted to read it. I tried multiple times, but it's way more like propaganda than like cool comic, just like this is what will happen to the sinners. I'm like, fuck. Oh man, I'm a sinner, I guess.
I'm a sinner.
With any sort of religious media, I like it when they're like, they just kind of try to make a story and don't try to push you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, I totally get it.
Like, don't get like, for instance, the Passion of the Christ, or like
the manga of that. That'd be sick.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Like, there's been music that's involved Jesus and stuff like that. But if they're not trying to be like, yo, pick Christ, then it's not bad. But
remember the cartoon, The Prince of Egypt? Like that was cool. It was something like that.
Cool, yeah.
Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat?
Wait, what's that?
What?
It's Joseph. Is that like a musical?
Yeah, it's a Broadway musical.
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
It was very popular. It was like during the time of like
the
Rent
80s,
and
90s.
Yeah. All that shit.
Yeah, all that shit.
I think it's about time we get off this farm.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, let's wrap it up.
All right, well, this has been a Black Hammer episode of Comics and Chronic. Thank you for listening. I am Jake FH. The homies are here. If you like this episode, press like, subscribe, and hey, if you want to, tell your friends about us. Be cool. All the kids are doing it.
Yeah.
They are.
Hi, you're listening to Comics and Chronic, and I'm Jacob H.
I'm Cody Cannon.
And I'm Anthony Iannaccio.
And you can tune in every Thursday to hear new episodes of Comics and Chronic.
And make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Comics and Chronic. That's Comics, the letter N, Chronic.
We'll see you guys next week.
Woo!
Peace.